Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy back to do your December 2015 reading. I will again be using the Gilded Tarot deck, drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card for the overall theme or general feeling of the month. These are general readings, so they may not resonate or apply the same to everyone who watches them. I suggest you also check your rising and your moon sign as well. And if you're interested in a personal reading, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and that will give you some more detail about myself, the services I offer, and my contact information, which is Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I will be running specials for the month of December from the 1st to the 31st for the holidays. I will be offering 30-minute readings for $25 and 60-minute readings for $50. And I also do a 3-question spread where you email me your 3 questions, and I will email you back a written version of the reading along with an accompanying picture of the card layout for it. And for those of you who have been subscribing and listening and watching my channel and these videos, my thanks and my appreciation go out to you. Thank you very much for that. It's been a pleasure to meet all of you and to do the readings that I have so far. So I wish you all a very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. So let's get started. This reading is for Scorpio for the month of December 2015. Scorpio for the month of December 2015. What does the month of December hold for the little stingers of the zodiac? Scorpio, December 2015. Okay. For the first week, we have the Eight of Cups, followed by the Two of Cups. For the second week, we have the Page of Swords, followed by the Eight of Pentacles. For the third week, we have the Hanging Man, followed by the Nine of Cups. For the fourth week, we have the Ace of Wands, followed by the Magician. And for the overall theme and general feeling of the month, the card from the bottom of the deck is the Strength card. Interesting, Scorpio. Well, this is going to play out a little differently for different people because, of course, it is a general reading. It may mean the opposite for some people because I don't know who I'm reading for, but let's get started. We have the Eight of Cups, followed by the Two of Cups. Now, Cups, the element is water, and the Suit of Cups represents emotions, relationship, love, things of that sort. I like to consider this card, it's kind of a card of leaving, of being either dissatisfied with everything that you've already experienced or the cups that you've drank from. You could be generally just bored, or you could be in a situation where you feel like you've given too much and you haven't gotten enough back, and whatever the case is, the end result is that you're ready to go. This card shows a man who's doing just that. There are a number of cups behind him, some upright, some spilled. Looks like he's sampled from most, if not all of them, and he's done with it. He's got his staff in his hand, he has his back turned, he's surveying the horizon, he is ready to go. This is a card of moving on. Now it is attached to the Two of Cups, which traditionally is the soulmate card, the beloved partner card. Again, another Cups card representing relationships, emotion, love. And I'm not sure, this is where it's going to read differently for different people who are watching this Scorpio, but this could mean either that you're actually leaving a relationship to go to something else, that perhaps it's time for the relationship to come to what appears to be a natural conclusion and for you to move on. This could also mean that you are considering having an actual breakup or a divorce or something of that sort. It could be that you're leaving to a place or a situation that's going to put you together with your soulmate, or it could be that you're actually leaving with your soulmate. Right now I'm not sure which it is. It seems kind of even, so this is maybe just going to mean a variety of different things for those of you who are watching. I've certainly drawn enough cards and readings to show when a relationship is on the verge or is actually breaking up. But if that's what's happening, I'm sorry to see that. I don't like to see that for you because the Two of Cups does represent, it's a card that whose traditional definition is about your soulmate, the person that you're with, that you met, that you really click with on a variety of levels, both spiritual as well as sexual and earthly ways as well. So let's see what the rest of the cards say. For the second week, of course, there not being a clearly defined timeline to the beginning and ending of the cards, as I'm sure you know. This could be a situation that you come into towards the end of November and going into January as well. But in the second week, we have the Page of Swords, followed by the Eight of Pentacles. The Page of Swords, pages can represent young people or people with perhaps younger mentalities or with maybe a little more of an immature way of looking at things. Pages can represent actual children in your life. They can also represent messengers. They are the message bringers of the zodiac, and I often see them as that way. Swords is a suit of the mind. It's a suit of logic, of intellect, of thoughts, of ways of thinking. So it looks like somewhere towards the beginning to the second week of December, you're going to be, I feel, receiving a message about something. It's attached to the Eight of Pentacles, which I look at kind of as the worker card. Pentacles, the element being that of earth, and Pentacles is a suit that represents earthly, tangible things around us, things that we can see and touch that are of actual, tangible, earthly value to us. Typically, resources, finance, money, jobs, career, that sort of thing. This shows a man who is sitting at his desk, working late into the night. The candles are burning. Perhaps you've been burning the candles at both ends. Again, Scorpio, you can be rather intense and driven that way. And it's a card of really working towards building something up. This is an 8 headed towards the 9 and the 10. You're building up assets or resources. You're building up a comfortable living for yourself. You're very dedicated and very disciplined in how you go about working. Perhaps working late into the night. Perhaps putting a lot of hours into this, into your job or your career, so you can put money in that bank account. With the Page of Swords, I think the feeling that I'm getting is that you're going to be getting a message or perhaps an idea. Something's going to come to you, a different way of thinking about a project that you're working on. Something to do with tangible results, with money, resources. Perhaps you're working on something that you're hoping will bring you some money. Perhaps in the first week, this possible leaving of a relationship, you may be in a position in your life where you're maybe having to leave your mate for work, or you're making a decision maybe at a point in your life where you're putting aside um, a relationship or the idea of having this kind of relationship in order to focus on a project that's right in front of you right now or your career right now. It looks like you're getting a new idea about that. The Page of Swords, also the message that I'm getting is that it may be asking the question too if you're being honest and forthright in how you're going about doing things, if the way that you're going about this or thinking about this is being true to yourself and to what you believe to what you believe your ideals are. In the third week, we have the Hanging Man, Major Arcana card, followed by the Nine of Cups, great card. Now, the Hanging Man is a card that represents being at peace with yourself and staying, I like to see it as a card about staying true to yourself, staying authentic to who you are, even if that appears to be different or bizarre or not in line with the way that the people around you think or the way that the world looks at you in general. This card shows a man who is hanging upside down in what appears to be a rather uncomfortable position, but he seems to be perfectly balanced in it and perfectly at peace with it. This can also be a card of waiting for something to come to fruition. But what I'm getting is that you're perhaps coming into a place in your life where there's a situation happening that's calling you to re-examine also what you think you might need in your life to make you happy. The Hanging Man is also a card about intuition, spiritual intuition, a gut kind of intuition about yourself, about your own needs and your own want, what's true for you, not anybody else but you. And paired with the Nine of Cups, it seems like you're in a place where you're either looking for what it is. I kind of get the impression that you're on an exploration to figure out what it is that you truly want, what your heart's desire is, what it is that's going to make you happy, and perhaps why we've begun this month, the month of December, or ended the month of November, with this leading that you've gotten an idea to go about your life in a different way, or you've gotten this idea about a project or something that you're working on that's more in line with who you are, that's more authentic to who you are, that you see is going to put you on the path to getting the things that you want. The Nine of Cups is traditionally considered the yes card, the wish card. It's a card of having um, what you want. It's a card of having your dream come true. It shows a man who's raising his goblet. There's 8 others in front of him. He's toasting. He's cheery. He looks comfortable, happy, well taken care of, well fed. Um, and I'm getting the impression that you're actually examining what it is that will make you really happy. Perhaps you've been living the kind of life or the kind of lifestyle where you've just kind of gone along with the status quo because um, you're building to get things that you think you want based on what the world's perception or the people around you's perception of it. Well, I'm supposed to want this, so okay, this is what I'm going to want. This is what I'm going to work for. And it looks like you may be approaching a time in your life where you're in a time in your life where you're re-examining what it is that you really want, what it is that's going to be good for you, what your heart's desire is. And maybe that looks to be out of line, or you've made a decision to go about this that's going to surprise the people around you. And it looks like you may get a little bit of flack for that. But the advice of the Hanging Man is to stay true to who you are, to stay authentic to who you are, to really examine that what you're doing and the life path that you're on and the decisions you're making are supporting um, being authentic, Scorpio, being true to who you are. In the 4th week of the month, we have the Ace of Wands, followed by Magician, another major arcana card. The Ace of Wands is a card, wands, the element being fire or air. It implies a movement, power, change, action, creativity, the birth of new things. Aces can represent gifts, and they represent, above all, new beginnings. And it looks like this process that you're going through in the month of December and perhaps beyond is going to bring you the opportunity to have a new beginning in something. Perhaps this idea that you've gotten, this transitional place. That's kind of what I'm getting for this reading so far, that you seem to be in kind of a transitional place. And perhaps you've made some decisions, perhaps you've made some difficult decisions that you need to live a life that's more in line with the truth of who you are as a human being and what you want in your life. And you're getting some new ideas about that. And maybe you're doing something that's out of character for who the world sees you as being. But it looks like at the end of the month, you're going to be getting a new idea, that it's going to be something that fires you up. It's going to be something that brings in new energy, spontaneity, perhaps something that you weren't expecting. It's going to be something passionate and creative, and something you're going to feel very strongly about. Some new beginning here. I'm not getting that it's specifically oriented towards work, or maybe just a life change in general. But it looks like you're going to be getting the opportunity to do this, and that this process of going within and looking at what it is that's going to make you happy going forward in the rest of your life is going to present you with an idea, with an actual opportunity to do this thing. It's a card that implies movement and implies action, and I think that whatever decision you make, it's going to require that of you. It's going to require that you um, take the initiative and have some bravery around this, because this new idea, this new beginning that you're getting is full of energy, and perhaps it fills you with energy, something very exciting, something very new. I'm getting a feeling of something very new and somewhat unknown. Now it's attached to the major arcana card of the Magician. The magician is a person who he can be seen sometimes as the trickster card, but I don't really see that in this reading. He's also a man who has mastered all the aspects of his craft, his trade. You can see he's balancing the symbol from each of the suits. He has come to a place in his life with a lot of work and experience and trial and error. And he has all the tools and all the knowledge to use his tools to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. Um, this is a card about it being about you and what you decide to do. This is a card that states that whatever it is, this transition you're going through, this new opportunity, this new idea about what might make you happy, even though it looks like you may have to be making some decisions to move ahead, that you're going to have to leave some people behind, and maybe some people that you really care about. And the Magician card is telling you that you have what it takes to accomplish this, but that the results are going to be dependent on you, that this is all about how much you put into this and how you go about doing this. Um, so it looks like you're going to find yourself going into the new year with the opportunity to begin something new. I keep getting that it's more just of a life path and specifically oriented in career or a specific relationship, although you may have to leave one behind in order to move ahead to do this, or you're actually moving with your significant other on a completely new path. Um, I get the feeling kind of just of a life change based on examining what it is that you really want that's true to who you are as a human being on this earth, and that you're going to be presented with the opportunity to do that. But that the doing of it and the manifesting of that is going to depend on the work that you put into it yourself. Now, the overall card I got for you is the Strength card, which is a beautiful card. And as the overall theme for this month, it suggests that it is twofold. One, that it's going to require some strength to actually move through this, because again, I'm getting the very strong feeling that you're moving through a transitional time, that you've reached a point in your life where you think perhaps that everything that you've been doing to achieve this idea of happiness is not really true to who you are, and you're getting some new ideas and new opportunities to move on a completely different life path, a different way of living, and a different way of looking at how you live and how you look at personal joy for you. So this card suggests that it's going to take some strength to do that, as it would with Scorpio. Um, I know that you're up to this, even though this may be a bit of an emotionally turbulent time for you, um, as transitional times can be. This card also says that you're going to have the strength to deal with whatever comes your way during this transitional time. Transitions can be very taxing, very challenging, very scary, and we're in the midst of the holiday season as well. So my suggestion to you too would be not to forget to take care of yourself in the middle of this process. It looks like it's going to be challenging, but at the same time it's going to be exciting and passionate and something that fires you up as well. Um, and it looks like the outcome and how well this turns out depends on, one, if you actually take action to embark on this new path, to take this new opportunity that's being presented to you. And the Magician card is saying that if you do, it's going to be up to you, that you're going to have to be the one to put the work into this to make this happen, that it won't happen and won't manifest without you pretty much taking the reins in it. And the overall theme and advice of the reading is that take your strength and use that. You're going to need it, and you're also going to have it, that you already have it present in order to move through this transitional period into this exciting new place in your life. There's also a secondary piece of advice to this card, that strength doesn't necessarily mean being aggressive. This woman has tamed this wild animal, this lion. There's a chain around its neck that she's holding on to, but both the chain around the lion's neck and the end of it in her hand is held very loosely, which suggests that she tamed this beast more with gentleness than with outward aggression. And so this transitional time may be, I think this card is asking you to have a kind of a gentle strength, the kind of strength that also comes from deciding and knowing what it is that is true to who you are, what's going to make you happy. And that's what's going to bring you what your true heart's desire is, Scorpio. Not a terribly complicated reading. Um, some of it feels a little not disjointed, but I think this reading is for it's going to come across differently for different people. I'm curious as to whether this coupling of the Eight of Cups and the Two of Cups in the beginning is representing an actual breakup. It will probably be representing an actual breakup of somebody in order to embark upon this new path. Perhaps you've just realized that everything that you thought you were on track for really isn't what you want, and in order to move on from that, you're going to have to leave behind some people, perhaps some relationships that are important to you. And it could be that you're moving on this new path with your your true love, your companion. That the both of you are embarking upon this new life path together. Um, because you come to the realization that what's really going to make you happy is not what you've been doing. So I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out for those of you that are watching. If you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you got something out of it, and you'd like an extension on it or a personal reading, again, don't hesitate to click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and that will give you my contact information and a little more detail about myself. So, an interesting reading, Scorpio. If you feel like sharing, please email me or you can comment in the feedback section on this under this video. And have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I look forward to seeing you next year in 2016. And as always, I wish you peace, happiness, joy, and a happy, happy life.